Hi, I'm Dave Wood with Petron Plus Lubes, distributors for Petron Plus global lubrication products. Now, in previous demonstrations, we've showed the Petron Plus oil supplement for your car engine or diesel engine and how it can significantly reduce wear and friction, how it works with contamination, with shock loading, and with no lubrication whatsoever. So in this demonstration, I'm going to show you how it can add lubrication on cold starts. Because cold starts, we know, is about 50% of the wear of an engine. When the engine starts up and does not have lubrication, it takes a few seconds for the lubrication to get up into the top of the engine where it needs to be. And so if we start it up and there's no lubrication there, that is a problem. So I suggest that you watch the first demonstration because I'm not going to repeat how I got to this point. All I'm going to tell you is that I have the bearing machine set up with 10W30 purple oil and no additive in there right now. And we know from the first video that it took about 3 weights for it to stall the motor even with lubrication. You can see on the test jig that I have a new bearing there, and there's no wear mark on it whatsoever. And that would be this bearing. And so what I'm going to do is turn the machine on, and you can see that I have a nice ridge of lubrication running on that bearing. I'm going to put the other bearing on here and let that start running. And then I'm going to add some weight to it and see where the thing stops. There's 1, 2, and we know that at 3 before I didn't get to 4 weights, and I don't know if and again, I don't get to 4 weights. Okay. So 3 weights stop the machine with lubrication on the bearing. Now here's a good test. I wonder if we could start the machine from a dead stop with 3 weights with oil on the bearing. Let's see. And no. In fact, it does not run, just slipping. So it cannot start with the weights on there. Okay? I'm going to keep those weights on there. We're going to take this off. Let's take the crankcase off here. Sorry I have to turn my back to you a little bit here, but it's just one of those things. This is the purple oil. I'm going to take this off, and we're going to look at that wear mark. Let me get a clean paper towel here quick and wipe that off. And we'll see what the wear mark is like on there so far. And there, you can see the wear mark now, and it just only took what, I don't know, did it run 30 seconds? I'm not even sure, with lubrication on the bearing. And we have the wear mark there. All right, so now I'm going to do, like I did before, I'm going to turn the bearing a little bit to get to a new spot. And I have a new location there. Sorry, it takes a little time, but okay. And now what I have here, what we're going to do first is we're going to wipe off the lubrication all the way. So let's wipe it down. Get the lubrication off that bearing, and you can see it's a clean cloth. And now we're going to see how many seconds it might take for, and I have 3 weights on there, which is what it took with the lubrication on there. So I wiped it off. Let's just see what happens here. We'll count it down when it starts up, okay? 1001, 1002, 1003. And at 1003, it stopped dead in its tracks. Let's check the wear mark there just for curiosity. And you can see the wear mark there in just a few seconds, 3 seconds actually, what happened there. Okay, now we'll move this again to a new spot, like so. Now this time, I'm going to put on the crankcase that has the mix of Petron oil supplement and the purple oil. And we'll put this back on again. I'm just going to leave the 3 weights there because we know that 3 weights stop the other one, so hopefully we can put that down on there. Let that run for a minute there and get some lube on those bearings. And you can hear just how quiet, once that gets on there, how quiet that gets. So the first test we did on the other one was we stopped the motor off to see if it would start from a dead start with lubrication on the bearings. So I'll do the same thing here. Turn it off, and sure enough, it starts right up with no problem. Now, just to go a little farther, let's just see what happens. I'm just going to add 3 more weights on here all at once. So that's twice as many weights as it took to stop the oil lubrication. And I'm going to stop the machine again. And let's just see if it would pick it up there. And sure enough, from a dead stop, it starts there. I'm going to be brave and add 3 more. And stop it again. So now we have 9 weights on there, and 3 times as many as were on before. We'll stop it off and see if it'll start. And sure enough, it starts up with 9 weights. I'm going to go one more time. I'm just going to gamble here. We'll put 12 weights on there. That's half as many weights as I have. 4 times as much weight as it took to stop the other lubricant. There's no guarantee here, but we'll just see if it starts. And sure enough, it does with 12 weights. I don't know. I think I'm going to go one more step here and go 15 weights. Just see what happens. 15 at once. And we'll stop it off. If it picks up with 15 weights, that's pretty darn impressive from a dead stop. And it doesn't. 15 was a little too much. I wonder if I just took a little pressure off here. Nope. Okay, so at 12 weights we did it, but I got to tell you, that's pretty impressive to see it pick up from a dead stop with 12 weights on there. 4 times as many as the other one had. So, what I'm going to do now is take this off. We'll look at the wear mark on there. And you can actually see the wear mark down below there. This wear mark is probably half the size. And that other wear mark was on there for only 3 seconds. And now I've just start and stop this thing a bunch of times with, you know, a lot of weight on there and still have less wear. Okay, so now the final step is to remove the crankcase here. And we'll do the same thing. I'll get another clean rag here. We'll clean off the bearing so that we have no Petron on there or no lubricant. And you can see it's clean. And we'll wipe this off too. And I'm using the same, I didn't move it this time, just, okay. So I have the same number of weights on as we had with just the oil. And we just made it to 3 seconds with the other one. So hopefully we get a little more lubrication on this before it dies. And it will die because there's no lubricant on there at all, but let's just see if there's anything there. And we'll count it down when it starts. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. So I got about 7 seconds, 4 seconds more than I got with the regular oil, and 7 seconds would give you plenty of time to get lubrication up to your parts in an engine. Now this comes in really handy with antique cars and with engines like boat engines, like I have a boat, that doesn't run from one season to the next. And the oil kind of, drains down and, it sits there for a while. And you start that engine and there's no lubrication there. And we can see that with Petron on there, it's going to have lubrication right away, at least long enough to get the oil up into the top of the engine where it needs to be. So that's a significant advantage by having the Petron in there, is just the cold start, because cold starts are what really affects the engine. We'll look at that wear mark on there, and it grew a little bit, but again there was no lubrication there at all except for some of the Petron, but that's what gave us the extra time to get the engine started and get the lubrication up there. So I think that shows you that having Petron in your engine, it reduces wear, reduces friction. For cold starting, it's a really good additive. It really will improve your engine performance, reduce the wear, possibly give you some additional gas mileage and some additional horsepower, a little bit, but you know what? It's just taking care of your equipment that's important, making it last a lot longer, doing a better job. So that's about it for the demonstration for the oil supplement. Remember, it comes available for oil and gas and diesel engines. And I suggest that you go to our website, petronpluslubes.com. And on our website, you will see links to petronplusglobal.com, or you can go to them directly. Do some research. Read about the products. And there are many, many, many products. I'm going to do another demonstration on some other products, so just watch for those. In the meantime, keep oiling, keep thinking Petron. I'll see you then.